We've got Dr. Seb Gorka on the phone. Dr. Gorka was down here last week with Sarah Palin and Louis Gohmert at a big rally that really got the ball rolling through the weekend. So, Dr. Gorka, what's your assessment went down here in Montgomery last night?
I really think, Steve, it's not an exaggeration to say that what happened yesterday changed American politics. It's the first battle in a war that's going to reform politics. And I know you like the word nationalism, but I'm not even satisfied with the more gentle word populism. For me, it's a reassertion of sovereignty and a reassertion of democracy when the wishes of the people are actually expressed in a way that the money and the influence of the establishment totally fails. That's a revolutionary moment in politics. When you look at, what's the latest count? 30 million spent by the swamp, but the local people's voices just reject that attempt by the establishment to hijack that primary. I think it really, truly is a revolutionary moment in American politics.
You know, Seb, you've been in D.C. a while, and you're one of the more prominent thinkers on the right. Talk to people. We use this phrase, drain the swamp and swamp creatures and everything like this. This is not going to be, and by the way, they're great catchphrases, but sometimes I don't think they get to the seriousness of the purpose of what this is and how hard it is. This kind of this corporatist donor consultant, K Street lobbyist, influence peddler, politician class. This business model that has perfected itself in Washington D.C. How tough is it going to be to break this?
What did you say, Steve, at CPAC? That one sentence, that warning that you gave to the audience out there that voted for Donald Trump is a crucial sentence. You said if you think that the swamp is going to give back our nation without a fight, then you're sorely mistaken, and that's absolutely true. But after my months in the White House, I need the listeners to understand this isn't just about the lobbyists. It's not just about the people on Capitol Hill. The swamp, I don't like the phrase the deep state. I like the phrase the permanent state, is also largely about the bureaucrats who just think they know better than anybody else. I saw this in my time working with colleagues in the NSC and elsewhere across government. When you've got somebody who's a GS-14 who thinks, no, I've been here for 20 years, I'm going to be here after the president leaves, and I know better, and I'm just going to do my own thing. That's what we have to fight as well. The idea that there's this entrenched political elite that's not just politicians, but also bureaucrats that thinks they know better.
What struck you when you came down last week to at this rally? What struck you most when you came down to have the rally with Sarah Palin?
What struck me most is just the atmosphere, the positive energy, the reception we received. Everybody was just positive, and everybody thought we are going to win. It wasn't, the little engine that could. It wasn't a concept of inferiority or being, the second-class citizen. It was just, no, this is right. Judge Moore is the right person. And I think the biggest thing of all, Steve, is how everybody saw the primary yesterday as November the 8th happening again, that we are sending the same message to Washington, to the swamp, that we are not going to allow them to get away with it. And I think it was just that positive attitude that this revolutionary event is going to continue, and it's not just one race, it is a larger war to cleanse the system.
Let's take something fantastic. I got to tell you, by the way, the enthusiasm of the local people has just been amazing. Remember, this was $32 million of corporate cash to bury, and not to have a debate, Seb. It was down here to the politics of personal destruction, and that's why I think so many of us admire Judge Moore and his family. Let's take a couple of calls.
Let's go to Rachel in Georgia on line 5. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning. I'm so honored to talk to you both. It's especially.
Yeah, well, you got Steve, you got Dr. Sebastian Gorka.
Yeah, you got the trifecta.
The whole team here.
You got the trifecta here.
Oh yeah, and the doctor too. I just
The good
love
doctor.
you guys.
Go ahead.
Well, I have a comment about the money that's being poured into these elections. So in Georgia, a couple months ago, we had the same situation, the special election right outside of Atlanta, where a lot of money was poured into an election, and the incumbent won. So my comment is, why do they think that all this money is going to win? What's the money for? What's it doing? I mean, don't they realize that there's a movement by the people? And my other comment
by the way, they do realize that. That's why they continue to put up more money, because they want to continue to shut that up. Well, the last thing they want is a Judge Rory Moore in Washington, D.C. Can you imagine the senatorial lunches where Rory Moore is sitting there with Mitch McConnell? He's actually going to normalize Mike Lee in those lunches.
dry lunches.
No, but man, the reason they're doing it is because they understand they got to put more and more cash in to suppress your voice. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
How many people around the country have the same mentality as Roy Moore and not represented in the U.S. Capitol?
Exactly.
You know, it's extraordinary.
That's the point.
And now they will be. Rachel, what do you think? Let me ask you this, and I want to bring Dr. Gorka in on this too. Rachel, what else are they going to do but throw money at it? It's not like they can throw principles at it. It's not like they can throw policies at it. It's not like they can throw good-natured, good-humored, charismatic candidates at it. They've got none of those things.
You see, and here's the point, Rachel. They're not trying to come down and have a debate with you, as Raheem just said, with good-natured candidates. What they're trying to do is do 30-second TV spots. And here's why, Rachel. They think you and your friends are a bunch of morons. They don't realize you go to Breitbart every day and read the stories. They don't realize you come to this radio show and you listen and you participate and you debate and you argue. They don't believe that you're smart enough collectively to make decisions, right? And so they think you're morons. They think a bunch of attack ads of 30 seconds. And Rachel, you'll just be watching TV all night long and seeing these attack ads, and you're going to go as an automaton and do exactly what they want to do. They do not think that you're a free man or woman in the greatest republic in mankind's history. They just think you're an automaton that's going to do what you're told, and that's what they want you to do. You know what they want you to do, Rachel? They want you to schlep into work every day, work your fingers to the bone, pay your taxes, send your sons and daughters into the military, and that's what they want from you. They don't want to hear your opinion, okay? Because that goes against how they're trying to run this country.
You make it sound like the agents from the Matrix. Dr. Gorka, I'm going to bring you in on this.
I just think they think all it takes is money. It just tells you everything you need to know about the establishment. They think the politics of personal assassination, of political assassination and triangulation is it. They're just going to throw more money at it. They don't need to convince you of anything. They don't need to argue their policies. They just wish to destroy you, and they just don't get it. You know, the beautiful thing about last night is it demonstrates yet again that the establishment on the right as well as the left still has no idea what happened last year on November the 8th. And as long as they don't understand that, we are going to win every single time.
Dr. Gorka, you think
buy Americans.
Dr. Gorka, you think we always say, oh, you know, the Democrats haven't learned anything. Hillary's still wandering around. They're still doing all this stuff. Kamala Harris is still screaming. Maxine Waters is still screaming. All this stuff's still going on. Everyone's still screeching. We always say the Democrats didn't learn anything. It's like the Republicans didn't learn anything, though, either.
Boom. That is the point. That is the point right there. Here's the reason they didn't learn anything. Hang on a second. They learned a lot. Here's what they learned. They learned to fear the working men and women in this country, and that's why they put $30 million into Rory Moore. As Sebastian can tell you, here's what they know. They know they do not want to change. And as I said at CPAC, they're not going to give you your country back. You're going to have to take it back. And what we find out is that, guess what? It doesn't stop last night. Today's a day to celebrate. But by the way, we got to get on the horse again today, because they're already attacking Judge Rory Moore December 12th. We're going to have candidates in Tennessee. We're going to have candidates in Mississippi, candidates in Arizona, candidates in Missouri. We're going to have candidates across the country. We're on a plane today to go out to Colorado, start meeting people, to take this revolution across the country, and to make sure that good men and women in this country are represented by people they admire and respect, and are going to do what they say they're going to Washington, D.C. to do. So they learned a lot. And here's what they learned. They don't like populism. right? They like the way the deal is right now. By the way, everybody would like it if you were inside that deal. Washington, D.C., 7 of the 9 richest counties in this country surround Washington, D.C. The per capita income in Washington, D.C., the surrounding counties, is higher than Silicon Valley, where they invented the silicon chip and has been the greatest engine of value creation in mankind's history. The per capita income is higher in Washington, D.C., an area of the country that doesn't make anything except federal rules and regulations.
Wow, that's actually incredible. We got to pull that. We got to pull that for the site.
Done.
That's such a huge.
It's a huge thing. Yeah. By the way, because look, they have over $4 trillion federal budget, and every part of that federal budget comes with a deal, right? Yeah. It comes with somebody that's beholden to it. That's why, remember, it is the corporatist, the fat cat donors. You got the K Street lobbyists, you got the consultants, you got the politicians. It's a racket. You saw this. This was Karl Rove, and this was Stephen Law, and this was Ward Baker. This was all of that came down with $32 million. By the way, did Karl Rove call me out yesterday on Fox TV? I hear that he said, hey, I've had a lot of tough guys come at me. Bandon's not so tough or something. Words to that effect.
That's exactly right. We had so many calls about that in the first hour, and we had Andy Sarabian as well talking about that in the first hour with us. I said, I called him yesterday's man. Other people called him worse. We actually had a conversation about internecine warfare as well. Whereas, instead of me recalling this to you, you can get this on catch up on the SiriusXM app.
Yeah, no.
Dr. Gorka, we're so delighted for you joining us here this morning. Thank you so much. We're up against the break, so I'm going to let you go. But Dr. Sebastian Gorka, Chief Strategist for the MAGA Coalition.
And by the way, Dr. Gorka, fantastic. He came down here in a rally. We've really got the weekend kicked off.
Thank you for that as well.
By the way, President Trump has just tweeted out, spoke to Roy Moore of Alabama last night for the first time. Sounds like a really great guy who ran a fantastic race. Right. We will help to MAGA.